Hi, welcome back to your English class. I am Leah Eller, your instructor, and we're going to continue with some listening and speaking exercises for today. There is going to be technology involved, so be prepared for that. Um, Today, of course, you guys know I always like to do current events, do history, kind of explain culture for the United States of America and how it can be different in different places. And one of the things that's going on right now that absolutely is affecting us in the US as well as overseas, in Europe, as in Russia as well, is the Ukraine Russian conflict. So, what I wanted to do today for the listening portion is we're going to listen to different news anchors discussing the events. All of the news anchors are going to be native English speakers, but not all of the news anchors are native American English speakers. So I encourage you to take notes, to write down any differences, to notate anything that you found more difficult to understand, maybe something that you liked better than you do in American English. But let's take a look at those clips, okay? The very first clip is actually going to be originally from CNN. And here we go.
U.S. and Western officials say Vladimir Putin may move to formally declare war on Ukraine as soon as May 9th. CNN's Natasha Bertrand joins us live from Washington. Natasha, the Russian president is already at war, in fact, if not in name. What could he gain from this official declaration on this important symbolic day for Russian citizens?
Yeah, Christine. So May 9th is a very important day for Russia. It is known as Victory Day. It commemorates the day that the Russian forces defeated the Nazis. And U.S. officials, U.S. and Western officials have long believed that May 9th could be a day when the Russian president either announces some kind of major victory in Ukraine or a significant escalation. And they're honing in on one scenario, which is that he formally declares war on that day, which would then allow him to mobilize his reserve forces. The Russian forces in eastern Ukraine have been suffering a massive manpower shortage. So this would allow the president to essentially conscript more forces into the fight and mobilize the general population there in Russia. This is also, of course, a major day of propaganda, so that could also galvanize public opinion for the war by actually formally declaring that they are launching a war against the Nazis in Ukraine. Of course, this is a lie that we've heard Russia say repeatedly, that they're fighting a special military operation against Nazism in Ukraine. So this could be a moment when...
Okay, so that's just to give you an idea of an American anchor. And this anchor is going to be from the Ukraine. I'm sorry, from the UK. So the United Kingdom.
The biggest war in Europe since 1945 began before dawn. Missiles struck across Ukraine. The unthinkable, a new reality. One of the first targets was this border guard post in the north, hit by a Russian drone.
Вони почали наносити вогневе ураження по особовому складу, скидаючи вибухові пристрої.
rolled across the border after weeks spent massing in Russia and Belarus. Their goal? To seize Ukraine's capital. Outnumbered and outgunned, Ukrainian forces tried to outsmart their enemy instead. Belarus is literally on the other side of this bridge. On the first day of the war, Ukrainian forces, seeing Russian tanks and artillery heading in their direction, blew up this key crossing point. They also destroyed a railway bridge about...
So that's just to give you an idea of a news anchor from the United Kingdom. We're now going to do a news anchor from Australia. And obviously, please forgive the commercials.
As fresh horrors continue to be revealed in Ukraine, the Austrian Chancellor has become the first Western leader to hold face-to-face talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. The Chancellor describing it as not a friendly visit. More from CNN's Nick Robertson.
Well, President Zelensky said that he was pleased that the Austrian Chancellor Karl Nehammer was going to Moscow to present the...
Okay, so it's interesting to be able to listen to the different ways that English is pronounced around the globe. Obviously, the American way is not the only way. Okay. We're going to look at President Biden's speech, remarks by President Biden on the united efforts of the free world to support the people of Ukraine. He did give that speech on March 26th of this year at the Royal Castle in Warsaw, Poland, when he visited. So let's take a look at that. I have passed that out. And I want you to think about, with the sections, do we have anybody from Ukraine, Russia, or Poland in class? Okay. Do you have family that is still in that area? You do. Okay. And are you able to keep in touch with them? How are you able to do that right now? Okay. Okay. Let's see. What I would like you guys to do, if you have anything that you all, especially you all that have family and loved ones still in the areas of danger, if you have anything that you would like to say to either Vladimir Putin or Volodymyr Zelensky, I want you guys to write letters today. Sit down and write a letter to the leader of your choice, okay, either one, and tell them how you feel about this situation. How is it impacting you? Is it impacting you directly because you have family there? Or, did you grow up there? Something like that. That's what I want to know about, okay? Are there any words or ideas that you want to express, but you're unfamiliar with how to do so in English? Warfare is not usually vocabulary that gets taught in English as a second or other language class, and so we are somewhat at a loss with the conflict that's going on right now. Okay. Once you guys have finished, we're going to break you guys up into groups of 3. You're going to look over each other's submissions and discuss what written aspects you think are valid and that you like, and what aspects you feel need work, whether it's something like spelling or grammar, perhaps it's phrasing or something like that. And then for homework, I'd like you guys all to look through YouTube and other online sites to find examples of speakers who you feel speak English with an unusual accent, whether they are American or whether they are not American. They could be Canadian, they could be British, they could be Scottish, you know, any of those would obviously, suffice. And come prepared at the beginning of the next class with your own 30 to 90-second video clip, and we'll discuss it. Is it the word choice? Is it the pronunciation? Is it the grammar? Does it have to do with how and when they pause? What makes it so different or odd, or different to your ear at least? Okay? And so for your assessment, I'm going to challenge you guys to write a speech of your own, similar to President Biden's in tone, to share in class. And we will do that later in the week. It is only Monday, so you have plenty of time. But if you have any questions, please feel free to see me. All right, thank you.